Hey guys, welcome to Devlog 28 for our game Brothers Apart here. Let's go over what happened this week. So I went through a lot of things because I am still gainfully unemployed right now. So I have a lot of free time. So I'll go over a few just in Word because I don't want to show you all the all the little fixes. So the floating text when you collect an item, the items as you collect them, floating text appears and floats up. Now it won't all clump on top of each other. If you run into 5 or 6 items at once, it'll stack nicely. So that's nice. Now when you collect items and you've got a full inventory, extra items won't follow you around. That would normally kind of gravitate towards you. So that's nice, and it'll say full inventory above your head. I gave a lot of the characters in town text where they didn't have dialogue before. One thing I try to do is talk to Huck. My dad told me these giant rocks were grave markers. He said before us there were other people. They had metal bodies. So Huck is talking about, I want to say it's these rocks over here, but I've left him walking around town long enough that he's just talking nonsense. So I try to make it so that any small detail in the game is somehow replicated on an NPC or on a sign, and I added a lot of that. The next thing, the rain bug. Ugh, that was stupid. So the rain, when it's raining outside, it's counting minutes. So let's say it starts raining. It's supposed to rain for, let's say, 1,000 minutes. If you walk in the house, the lighting initially, it initializes and it counts down from midnight, starting in a dark time. So it runs through all the minutes automatically, and that killed the rain. So you'd walk in the house, it would stop raining outside. You come back out and it's clear. That doesn't happen anymore. I added 3 extra fish, the torque eel, crunch bass, and the fathead catfish. Yeah, they're in. I'm not going to show you where they're at because that's part of the fun. Frog has eyes when attacking, so maybe I can do that. Maybe I'll show you that. So all the way down here, I'm just going to run back to the start map. Right here, and I'll let monster in. I'm going to show you this frog because I've been putting it on Twitter. I hope I'm on easy mode here. Blow it up to full screen here. So the frog hides in the water, and I've been tweaking it ever so gently. So if you look right at the shore, you can see it's starting to pop, and now you see its eyes, and then it jumps. No, it decided there's no room, so it didn't jump on me. There we go. So I'm going to spit monster out. There we go. So I've got it on easy mode, so it had 33% less health than it normally would. But that's the frog. So you saw when it jumped out of the water, its eyes popped up. That was a suggestion on Facebook, I think, on one of the Game Maker groups there. So that was a nice suggestion, and it looks good, I think. So when you're fishing, it doesn't just sneak up on you. The Goblin Chief. So I'm going to skip ahead in the game, and I don't want to show you the new dungeon because I updated the entire dungeon inside of there, and it looks completely different, and there's actually little things you got to do to get to the boss instead of just walking up to him. And I don't want to show you that, but it's there. So I'll show you the Goblin Chief next, and while we're there I'll show you the cliffs too. So I'm going to skip there, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so this is the Goblin Chief. I'm just going to activate his fight, and you'll see a nice little full screen so you get the full grasp of it. He goes by line of sight. Look at him stamping around. Once he sees me, he's going to start the fight, and he does his little thing. So that's him getting angry, and then he'll smack you around. and he is significantly larger than me. So I'm gonna skip to the next room. Oh look, we're in Saul's. So that's the Goblin Chief, and I'm not going to show you the rest of that because he was a total, I wouldn't say a redo, but it took a lot of time. Luckily, time that I have now. Oh, and I changed the cliffs. So the cliffs in the game, they look nicer and a little more artistic. I'm just going to tell Monster to wait there. I'm just going to show you the best example I have. Excuse me. So these, get out of here. So this would be the best example at this point. I haven't decorated every cliff in the game yet, but now you see the little details at the bottom. You got growing moss, you got vines, little rocks that have accumulated there. Oh, there's some more of these. So you see it looks nicer. And while I'm here and I remember, I also made it so you can pick up rocks. And that's something I've meant to do now for a while. And it doesn't look pretty when it rotates. I don't know if I'll fix that. Maybe I'll put that on the list of things I might do. And throw them on the ground. So that's something I've always meant to do, and now I've done it. Let's get out of here, and we'll go back to, oh, not there, Solace. Let's walk into this house so I can get Monster out of the trees. So there's rocks. I didn't even have that on my list here. The coal mine changed, which is the place where I was showing you. Hopefully you can't hear my 3-year-old screaming. It's bedtime. The camera follows the fish when you go fishing and you catch a fish. So that's kind of neat. But I'll go to that one next. I'm going to show you the Sprig Father. And it's kind of a hidden secret, so I'm just going to flash forward. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to show you that because it's a secret. And I tried to go into the place where it's at. And I can't do it without showing you some of the surrounding areas, and that kind of gives away where it's hidden. So I won't show you that, but essentially, it's a hidden place. You talk to him and he tells you a little bit of stuff. Keep that a secret. So the next thing, coal mine change showed you. Fix the frog. Screw that frog. Bats flee from the torch. I can show you that up here before I show you the fishing. Go to a cave that has some bats in it. So bats are spooky, and you can see them floating around on those crystals up there, and eventually they'll land and they'll hide. So if I bring out my torch, they will not attack me. And I've got Monster on passive. Now I can walk around them as close as I want. They'll try to get away. And if I turn Monster on aggressive, she'll just go chow down. Those items went in the wall. That's okay. Let's get out of here. Oh, the hidden scent items auto-generate. And I'll see if my compiler tells me if I have any in this room. I don't know if I have any in this room. So the scent items, don't mind me flying. The scent items are just things that Monster can find all on her own. Well, not on her own, but when you swap to her, she'll see the scents. So I'm going to switch over and just see if anything has auto-populated in here. Just get you out of the way. Oh, there's one down there, so that's good. And I think I showed you this last video, but now they generate randomly with the room. So there's a little health potion there. Now they'll generate with the room, and when you leave the room and come back, it's been saved. So that's not going to, you can't kind of farm it, and that's important. to me anyway. I'm sure it makes the game a lot easier. And Monster can increase her max HP. Let's see if I can get back to the home. I gotta fix that. Oh, here we go. So Monster now has an item that's also saved to a grid that saves with the game that will increase her max HP. And these aren't where they're going to be. This is just me testing it. But you'll dig it up, and that's a little bit ugly there. Can't see what it says. A ruined bone. And you'll chomp it. Monster's found a ruined bone. Her maximum HP is increased. And that will save again to the grid, and you will increase Monster's HP, which is very important because the monsters, the enemies, get more difficult. Let me show you this. While I'm here, I just started working on this part, so don't get mad at me if it doesn't work. Where's all the fish? There's some fish. So when you go fishing, I'm going to cast it way out there. So you can see the camera switched way over to here. There's a little bit of work still to do with the fishing. Oh, there it goes. Looks like it got away and it took your bait, so it took my worm. And I'm okay with that. There's some dragonflies. So that is really about all I've done. Oh, and the campfire bundle. So I'm just gonna switch to it. I don't know if I added this to the list. So when I hit W and S, which are going to be linked to the D-pad up and down, you can swap through your items. You can see in the top right corner there all my items that I've got, and it'll switch through them, which was kind of it was fun to write the code for it, because I had to make it skip through the inventory. And if I move an item here, if I move an item here, it's got to miss those blank spots. So that was just a nice little brain exercise. But I made a campfire bundle. So let's say, oh, and I did this too, as long as it doesn't freeze on me. So if I activate this, it asks me if I want to cook or rest. So I can either sleep or cook. And I want to cook some frog legs, and now I've got cooked frog legs. Or if I want to rest, I can sleep until morning. And it does this little song. And there we go. So now it's morning. And my hunger and my thirst also decrease going through the night. I think it's 2% thirst per hour, 1% hunger per hour that you've slept. So that's that. Oh, the campfire bundle, that's right. So if I press Z, it'll place a campfire. And then I can do the exact same thing. I can cook or whatever with it. And that's neat because then you can bring it with you. And Monster's always ripping these squirrels to shreds, so you can just kind of cook on the go. And now I've got some cooked squirrel to eat. And here's my water bottle. I'm gonna drink from it. Go fill it, drink from it, fill it. And that's it. So that was this week. Other than that, I'm going to find out if I'm working tomorrow. And if I'm not, I'm going to work some more. I'm trying to wrap up this demo here, and then hopefully start a Kickstarter by the end of February with my plans on what I hope to achieve in a realistic timeline. I've just sourced out my music guy, and I mentioned that last video, Thomas Palazzi, and so he's getting started on some stuff too. And I'll share as much as that as I can as it goes, but that's going to be kind of a process. So yeah, once I get some good stuff going, I'll start a Kickstarter that would hopefully just fund paying for music, paying for art, and then paying for potential advertisements that I'm going to do, because I would like to see this game do well, and I think some funding to market it is going to be huge, because I can't rely on just my Twitter feed, unfortunately. As much as I'd like to, I gotta pay. I gotta pay Twitter and Facebook and wherever I can advertise it. So go ahead and leave some comments below if you have suggestions or questions, and I will see you next Sunday. Ciao.